Okay, so enough on you understand that explains the way you lubricate the shaft. I had another trencher that the seals were, it was an old thing, and what I did is I ran a piece of copper tubing right through here, right around the back side, I think it was, up in here, and I had a grease gun mounted here, and I could actually put pumps of grease in it as I trenched, and um, it went for years. And as long as you need to keep grease in there. These other newer models have different ways of doing stuff, but they cost over 30 grand, and they got all kinds of problems where they wear out and they don't last. This is a good trencher. It's simple to work on. Everything's mechanical on it, pretty much, except for the crawl mode. You got hydraulics there. And it's easy to repair, and that's what I like about them. There was this yellow stuff. There was a crack here when I had this digging head off, so I welded that up. This is it's a 50 station chain. Each station costs 15 bucks, so you got 100 pitches, so $7.50 per pitch is what it costs from Ditch Witch. As you can see, these rollers have no visible wear. This chain is 95% there. This thing's, it's new. I ran this, I use this trencher for footings, pretty much footings only, and I would run the engine about just under half throttle when I'm doing these. So it's not like there's a lot of, this trencher has not had a hard life. Not as hard of life as most trenchers do. But when I would dig for utility coming off a footing to a power pole or something, then yeah, I bury it to 4 feet or whatever depth needs to be due, and I run it wide open. So the chain is like brand new. Sprockets are all new. I mean, they were replaced when the chain, you can see there's just no wear on the drive sprocket to speak of. Same with the auger sprocket. And this originally, this part right here was right here, welded here, and you had another sprocket with teeth here, and on the end you got a fork with another teeth. And what I did is to cut down on the wear of for the longevity of the chain, there was really no sense in having sprocket contact with the rollers on the chain in the dirt, because it's only wear and tear that is not necessary, and it's eating up your chain. Chain's expensive, and so are the sprockets. So I stole some ideas from what some other trencher companies do, and I made these rollers. They were a lot of work. So everything that's yellow is something that I came up with here. So this is not a factory thing, but it works much better. It'll save the life of your chain big time. This is a hunk of steel, piece of tubing that comes out to about right here, and it was actually, it was a piece of solid stock. I bored it out and bored it to the same internal to the dimensions for the same internal races, bearing races that you use on the sprockets for a 3.1 pitch chain, which was also an option on this digging attachment. This is a 2-inch pitch chain. Down here is a sprocket that is for a 3.1 pitch chain, and so I bored the inside of that piece of steel just like what you see there for the races. So those races and bearings are from Ditch Witch, so the seals, everything's to the dimensions. And then I welded these you know, some plate which turn into little flanges to keep the chain from coming off, you know, from the side to side here. Works absolutely excellent. This pin is the only thing you would need to buy. You're not going to wear this out ever. It's 2.5 inches thick of steel. It's just not going to wear out. And it rides on the bars of the chain, which is real nice. No wear on the rollers. The only problem it had was, come winter time, the mud wanted to cake up here, so I made this little makeshift wiper thing after the fact, and it works great. It keeps any mud from building up on there. Same with up here. Put one in there. So the only thing you would need custom built if you ruin this pin for some reason, I made this pin out of ETD 150, and I drilled, you know, halfway through the length of it inside and tapped it for grease zerk, and came out from the side of the pin with a hole, so you can grease the bearings in there like the factory pins do. So that's that. Same above here. I made the pin to fit this fork thing that I was made, and this roller is really nice. And what I did here is this roller is a piece of steel. This was a piece of tubing. It was not solid. It was a piece of tubing. I bored out, and it comes out to about right here, all the way to right here. And for what this piece of tubing is riding on is actually this sprocket right here. I put this in a lathe, machine these teeth off to right here, and brought it to about right here. Took that measurement, bored that tubing to that size, and made it a press fit. Pressed it in there, so you're actually got the original. You got the same races and bearings that you do here. The 3.1 pitch chain, and pressed it in there, and then welded these little tabs to the inside of the tubing, but not to the old sprocket itself. So if for some unbeknownst reason you ever did need to get that out of there, because like you ruined it somehow, you can cut them tabs off and press it out. And it's an excellent system. It cut back wear so much on this chain. It's unbelievable. Because that is really how your chain wears, is when it's down in the sand, with making that grit you know, the sand between the roller and the sprocket, and there's no need for it other than when you need to drive something like augers or the chain itself. I cut this roll bar off. It could easily, real nice clean cut. It could be welded back on if you need it. It was just an opposite. It was just getting in my way. As you saw in the video, when this thing was digging, it was digging a foot wide, and that's what it's set up for, because I mostly use this for footings for